You know, especially if you're a traditional bass fisherman and you fish the bank a lot, you run into this a lot more than you do like in offshore situations where you'll get on a stretch of bank or, you know, flipping and pitching something, and you just catch 8 and 10 inchers one after another. And it's like you upgrade, you try different lures, not much you can do about it. It just seems like there's just nothing but small fish there. One of the things that I can tell you is if you get into a situation where you're catching just a lot of small fish, sort of bright out and put these sunglasses on, but when you're in a situation like, you know, you're going down a bank and you maybe worked a quarter mile that's a shoreline and you're mixing it up, you throwing a crankbait, throwing a topwater, flipping and pitching something, and you're just catching these 8, 10, 12 inch fish all the time. You're not catching anything besides that. There's a couple different things that you sort of have to take in consideration. First of all, it could be the depth that you're fishing. A lot of times, smaller fish, they will tend to group up a lot and use certain depth zones. So from what I have found, a lot of times when you're catching those small fish like that, sometimes you're fishing too shallow. And one of the easy remedies for that is just to back out and move a little bit deeper. I remember one deal I was fishing at Table Rock. This was just like, I think it was last year or sometime in the fall time. And I was working down this long stretch of rocky bank, and I was throwing that Megabass Super Z2 that runs probably, you know, 4 feet deep or so. And I was just catching them one after the other, but they were all 8, 10, 12 inch fish. They were just, you know, small bass. And I tried upgrading. I put on a bigger crankbait. I tried, you know, larger profile lures, nothing like with that. So finally I backed off and I got out in probably 8 to 10 foot of water off those same banks there. And I started throwing a finesse jig. And it's like I started upgrading the size of the fish. Instead of catching 8, 10, and 12 inchers, I started catching some 2, 2.25, 2.5 pounders simply by moving, nice simple adjustment, just moving out a little bit deeper. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing that I have found, and this has probably been a little bit more common than moving out deeper, is the fact that that's what's there. There's nothing but small fish where you're fishing at. And more than not, probably the number one piece of advice I can give you guys, if you're fishing down a stretch, and I don't care what type of cover you're fishing, and you're catching nothing but little ones, it's time to move. Because those, for whatever reason, the conditions, the water temperature, water clarity, cover, time of the year, whatever it may be, it's just small fish are using it. It could have something to do with the food chain. Maybe the bait is there that's smaller, that's not attracting the bigger fish. But if I'm catching just lots of little ones and nothing else, I usually pick up the trolling motor and I'll move to a different part of the lake. Now, a lot of times you don't have to move to like, you know, completely long way away, but, you know, try some different type of structures within that